sense of West Africa's investment world. This podcast is brought to you by Daba, your most comprehensive platform for investing in African stocks, bonds, and managed funds. You can download the Daba app on your favorite Google and Apple app stores. Today, we review the trading session of Monday, August 18th. And let's start with some good news. The regional stock market ended the day in positive territory. The BRVM Composite Index gained 0.33% to close at 315.82 points. That means the market remains on a solid upward trajectory, with a 14.42% increase since the beginning of the year. At the same time, the BRVM 30 Index, which includes the 30 most actively traded stocks, advanced by 0.45% to 153.37 points. This is a clear confirmation that despite short-term volatility, the overall trend is still positive. For investors, this reflects sustained confidence, especially at a time when global markets remain uncertain. Let's now look at the top gainers of the day. Leading the pack is Bernabé Côte d'Ivoire, which surged 7.07% to close at 1,665 francs CFA. Over the past year, this stock has already risen by 56.34%. To put it in perspective, an investor who placed 100,000 francs CFA in Bernabé 1 year ago would now have over 156,000 francs CFA. Another big winner was Uniwax Côte d'Ivoire, up 6.90% to finish at 620 francs CFA. Over 12 months, the stock is up 51.22%. Uniwax benefits from steady demand for printed textiles, a sector that remains deeply rooted in West African consumption. For everyday investors, this proves that traditional industries can still generate impressive returns, even compared to more modern industries. Safca Côte d'Ivoire also posted strong gains, climbing 6.25% to 595 francs CFA. On an annual basis, the stock has increased by more than 32%. This is an encouraging signal for the construction sector, which is directly tied to infrastructure and housing development across the region. Another highlight of the day was Ecobank Transnational Incorporated, listed in Togo. It advanced 6.25%, closing at 17 francs CFA. While its share price remains low compared to larger banks on the exchange, this rebound shows that investors are still betting on the long-term potential of this Pan-African banking group. For small investors, it offers an entry point at a low cost with exposure to multiple African economies. Finally, Africa Global Logistics Côte d'Ivoire gained 3.81% to reach 1,500 francs CFA. With an annual performance of nearly 12%, it confirms the strength of logistics, a sector that is vital to trade in West Africa and expected to grow as intra-African commerce deepens. Of course, not all stocks moved higher. On the losing side, Safca Côte d'Ivoire fell 7.44% to 995 francs CFA. Yet, it's important to note that over the past year, Safca is still up 38.19%, showing that volatility in this sector can be intense. Oragroup Togo lost 5.37%, Cervere Abidjan fell 3.68%, and SOGB Côte d'Ivoire slipped 3.16% to close at 7,500 francs CFA. But remember, SOGB remains one of the best performers of 2025, with a massive 62.69% increase year to date. This is a reminder for investors. Short-term dips should never overshadow long-term upward trends. Let's now take a look at sector indices. The financial services sector was the main driver, advancing 0.98% today. Over the past year, this sector has grown 21.16%. This underscores investors' confidence in banking and insurance, despite regulatory risks. The industrial sector also gained 1.42%. Over 1 year, it has jumped nearly 40%. This confirms that West Africa is steadily industrializing, and investing in local manufacturing companies can bring long-term growth opportunities. Public services rose modestly, as did energy and basic consumer goods. These defensive sectors show that investors continue to diversify their portfolios, balancing growth stocks with steady, resilient performers. In the prestige compartment, we observed a 0.83% increase to 130.83 points. This reflects strong interest in large-cap companies, which attract institutional investors as well as more experienced retail investors. Now, let's move to the bond market. Trading was quiet on August 18th. Only 2 bond lines were exchanged, with a transaction value of 2.26 million francs CFA, down sharply from previous sessions. That represents a drop of over 93% compared to the previous day's volume. Among government bonds, most Malian, Senegalese, and Burkinabé issues remain stable. For example, Mali continues to offer 10-year and 8-year bonds with coupon rates around 6.5%. For investors, these bonds mean steady fixed income payments that are often higher than what savings accounts or traditional bank deposits offer. In Senegal, several issues ranging from 10-year to 15-year maturities remain available, with yields between 6.5% and 6.9%. These are especially attractive for institutional investors seeking stability, but increasingly, wealthy retail investors are considering them too. In Burkina Faso and Niger, the same trend holds. Bonds ranging from 8 to 12 years, with yields around 6%. This shows that West Africa's government bond markets remain reliable sources of financing for states, while also giving investors predictable income streams. Why does this matter for you as an investor? Because it proves that you have options. You can put your money into stocks to aim for higher growth, or into bonds to secure steady income and balance out risk. To summarize, the session of August 18th ended on a positive note, with indices up, top performers like Bernabé, Uniwax, and Ecobank pulling the market higher, while the bond market continued to provide stability. For investors, the key takeaway is clear. Diversification remains your best strategy. And don't forget, if you want to go deeper and make smarter moves, there is one essential tool. Daba Pro is the premium subscription that gives you weekly stock recommendations, detailed research reports, exclusive data, and even reduced trading fees. With Daba Pro, you don't just follow the markets, you stay ahead of them. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Daba Markets Talk podcast. We'll be back tomorrow with another update. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating, follow us, and share with friends. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. Always do your own research or consult with a financial advisor before making investment decisions. And download the Daba app on your App Store to start investing in African stocks, bonds, and manage portfolios through your phone and find other helpful content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing your financial knowledge.